Hey everybody, and welcome back to Ladies Lounge. It has been ages since I've said that, but it's been amazing to actually say that and welcome you back with us. It's been such a long time, but I want to hug you all through the camera. But I'm here with my fellow hosts, the wonderful Cordelia, Sister Stephanie, and the wonderful Data. Hey ladies.
Hello.
Let's welcome everybody to the show today. It's Ladies Lounge. We're so excited. We really are. There is so much we want to share with you, so much we want to catch up with you, so much we want to do with you on Ladies Lounge. And this season is going to be better than before. So stay locked and stay here. But first things first, how are you? That's what we want to know today before we go into anything. It's been a long time coming. We've all got into our new normal of life. But really, how are you? Girls, ladies, sisters, how are we, girls? How are we? What's going on? Cordelia, how are you, my dear?
I mean, instinctively, I want to say I'm fine, because that's what we all say. I am fine, I guess. But the past 2 years, along with everybody else, has been really challenging, not just with COVID, but just having that uncertainty to deal with on top of your own uncertainties to deal with hasn't been easy. I remember things got so bad. I'm the kind of person, the only thing that's taken me to hospital is childbirth, literally. I don't get sick, so everybody else can get sick. And once just walking to the shopping centre, and I started to feel like dizzy, and my heart was just palpitating. I thought I was having a heart attack. I saw this guy like walking towards me, and I'm charging towards him, like literally I felt like I was gonna die, like this is it. And the guy's looking at me because I was all dressed up as usual, looking whatever, and he's looking at me like, is she okay? And I'm just like reaching out to him, and there I was passing out and trying to get the phone, like I was just shaking everywhere. What had happened, I have no idea. I ended up at the hospital. I have my kids. I'd literally, like I said, I was just going to the shops, like left the kids quickly. And I had to like just tell them, oh, I'm going to see my friend. I'm going to see Auntie Marie. She's not feeling too well, so I'm just going to check on her. But via text later on, whilst I was at the hospital now, and they're checking me, they did all kinds of tests. And guess what? It all came up to, apparently it's stress. And they tried to explain it, it wasn't sinking in. And the doctors were like, well, the body has a weird way of dealing with stress, you know, like sometimes you might not realize it. It's almost like subconsciously, because it's like you, from what they were explaining, that you kind of like develop this coping mechanism where you keep going, you think you're fine, everything is fine, but the body is fighting inside and causing damage. And it was quite an eye-opener, like not really taking kind of like not just account, but like, you know, where you're being aware of exactly what's happening to you. So I'm okay now. Like so many things happened. I broke my, I dislocated my shoulder.
What were you doing?
What was going on?
I know.
Were you playing sports or just...
No, just mommy duties, you know, in the evening I put the kids to bed, tidying up, putting things upstairs, packing and this, and I slipped because I live in like a townhouse. I have a lot of stairs and fell down, shoulder dislocated, back was like twisted.
Oh my God.
I'm like, after what happened, and I was trying to deal with it, coming to terms with it, trying to understand what's happening in life. And then that happened, and then I caught COVID. I'm just like, what is going on? So how am I? I guess in a very classical African, Black, British way, I can now say I'm fine.
We'll come back to that because that is definitely an interesting subject. But Steph, tell us how you've been.
I think it's been a very weird 2 years. I just feel like there was a high in 2001 when we first went into COVID. There was like, I can do loads of stuff. And then for me, I stopped working. My company I was working with, working with a company that the head office was in China. So earlier on, I was a contractor, so I was made redundant. But I loved it because I was like, oh, this is the first time in the history of my career that I can actually have time to spend with the kids and stuff. And I had lots of energy. And then in August, I So I enjoyed this part. And then August, I went back to work.
In August of 2020 or 2021?
2020.
Okay.
2020, I went back to work. And that's when I just felt so overwhelmed. Like, with COVID, you were not sure. It was so much uncertainty, as you said, and kids were at home, and you were not sure what's going to happen, and then Christmas. But I think one thing I took away, one thing that it made me look at during the time I stopped working in March to August was my finances. And I realized that I'm not as financially bonus as I thought I was, because when you're not working, when you have your salary coming in every month, it's easy to just spend and stuff. And I realized that that's when I took a deep look at my finances. And I think that the 2 years I've just been trying to get myself to a certain stage, not looking rich, but actually being rich, like trying to invest in myself and invest in my future and looking for ways to actually build wealth and not just looking rich. Does that make sense? So I think for me, that has been my sort of what I've been working on for the last 2 years. And I think it's been difficult, family health issues and stuff. But I think the main thing that I have come out of in the last 2 years was just sort of getting myself in a good financial state and looking at my debt, looking at my expenses, clearing off my debt, and just trying to sort of build wealth, really. I think we'll probably have an episode about this another time, but I think that's what has been my focus in the last 2 years. But it's been quite a difficult, strange time, but I'm happy that we're getting back to normal and life is sort of moving on. And that's been my 2 years.
I know.
Yeah.
I could just listen all day.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like, you want to hear how the other person has been. Because we've all been in our own bubbles, haven't we? For one person is health, for the other is, trying to get her finances back. For me, it's all over the place, to be honest. When COVID started, I think I caught COVID. I think because I didn't test myself, but I felt really ill. So that was how the whole drama started for me. So after like 2 weeks of being isolated in my bedroom, I sort of stayed home for the months following. Not like I was a type to be extra scared of going out to the shops, because I know there's some people who are particular. No, I wasn't that type, but I just stayed home anyway. And then we were doing the Instagram lives and things that was keeping us, busy. And at some point it slowed down. Everything around me slowed down. It all slowed down. And it now boiled down to, okay, so now what? I believe in a stage of my life where I'm building experience. So I didn't want to forget that, because I had already realized that. So I used everything I could lay my hands on to build experience. As you all know, I had been doing a course. And so it, boiled down to studying, doing church work, and the months rolled by, gaining and gathering experience. I went on placements and I started seeing people. I listened to people's problems for a living. So I think I draw strength from hearing people share their innermost thoughts with me. When you hear problems, you sort of look at yourself and say, God, thank you. So that is what it has been for me. And towards the end of last year, I got a new job. And by December, I had upgraded in that job. So I have been busy, say, from probably April, May last year up till now. So I don't know if I'm counting 2 years or not, but sickness, when I say sickness, I don't mean vomiting. But I was ill with COVID, it slowed down and it went up again. So in a nutshell, I'll echo Cordelia and say the normal thing to say when people ask you, how are you? You say you're fine. Other things have happened. There's been very serious diagnosis in my household, medical diagnosis that has, kept one busy. But in all, I feel very grateful. More than anything else, more than feeling sad or more than feeling, stressed, I champion the gratitude. So I've been championing the gratitude from within me. There's a lot that has happened, much of which we may not be able to share, especially when it's family members and stuff. Yeah. You want to keep some things private, but a lot has happened and I'm grateful that I'm here. That's good. I think it's really important for us to share. And sorry, everybody who's probably sitting there going, well, why are you guys sharing about your personal issues and how you are? Because it's so important to take stock and say, hold on a minute, how are the people around me? You know, we're busy out here helping everybody else fight fires, helping people run their businesses, helping people get back on their feet. We're helping people do so many different things, but the people we sit amongst and the people we live with, how are they? So as usual, we will all say it on Ladies Lounge TV, get your fingers working. Send us a message. Let us know how you are, because we genuinely do care. We're taking time out to know how each other are, and we want to know how you are. None of us are perfect. We all have different lives, and just us sitting here as normal human beings, just like you, we are expressing that it's okay to not be okay. And Cordelia and Data have already highlighted that in our culture of Black people, or per se, could I be as strong and say as people from the UK, or more in particular to London, we very much are closed-lipped about how we are. Yeah, we don't even nod and say hi. In Birmingham, it's very much you would say in hello to the stranger and everywhere else. But in London, it's very much a, anyway. Yeah, so we need to take stock, and that's what we're doing. So take the time out and say hi and ask the other person how they are. And, you know, one of the things we did notice in COVID, if you do watch TV, I believe it was on ITV that they used to say, there was a hashtag that they had, is Britain take time to talk, or Britain stop and talk. And I think it's very, very important that we do that, because superficially on the front, we all look okay because we can all put our lashes and our makeup on. Yeah. But how are we inside?
How are you, Sakina?
Yeah.
Fam, let's not even go there.
Because I noticed we were gonna jump over that, but I was waiting to hear how is Sakina as well, you know.
Well, just like you ladies, I'm fine. No, there's not enough time in the day for me to go into how I am, but I'm okay. There's been a lot happening in my life for the past 2 years, but unlike a lot of people who had dealing with COVID and they had to be at home, I was not at home. I was out more because of being on the front line and supporting people. So that was really demanding on me. But one of my takeaways that was said to me 2 years ago was from our producer, Immaculate, is that when people live alone, people never know what's going on. And I think it's so important that we really need to take time out to, whatever we're doing in our busy lives, because we're always going to be busy, but there's always going to be someone out there that needs our support. So whatever we can do to help somebody, like Data, you said, you know, for a living, you listen to people's lives. We all need to try and take that away to try and listen to people, because there are so many different things we go through, and I'm sure there's people that are out there that want to help people, but unless we also come up and talk, someone can't help us. So anyway, on that note, you can see the juice is going to come, can't you? So enough from Sakina. We're going to go on a small break, but come back because the juice is about to come. See you back in a couple of minutes.